The grand chamber buzzed with 1,000 different sounds. Clicks, whistles, hums, and voices in hundreds of languages filled the massive crystalline hall. Representatives from 847 species sat in the curved seats, their bodies ranging from tiny floating orbs to massive creatures that needed special platforms. They all gathered for one reason: to decide what to do about the humans. Ambassador Velshara stood at the speaker's platform, her forearms trembling. Her insect-like body reflected the light from the neutron star outside. She had spent 20 years studying the humans, and what she learned terrified her. Now she needed to make the council understand. "Honored council members," she began, her voice translator crackling with urgency. "I beg you to reconsider this vote. Do not send your fleet to Earth. Do not provoke the humans." High Counselor Zephyr floated in his special chamber, his energy form pulsing with dismissive light. He had ruled the council for 300 years and had little patience for fear. "Ambassador Velshara, we have heard your concerns. These humans are primitive. They have barely mastered fusion power. Their fastest ships crawl through space like wounded creatures. Why should we fear them?" Velshara's compound eyes flashed with desperation. She activated the holographic display, and images filled the air above the council floor. Humans in ancient times fighting with metal swords. Humans in their world wars using terrible weapons. Humans in their space age building stations and ships with relentless determination. "Because they do not know how to quit," Velshara said. "I have studied their history. They have fought wars that killed millions of their own kind. They have suffered disasters that would destroy other species. And each time they rebuild. Each time they come back stronger." Commander Thex leaned forward in his seat. The Vorlonian warrior had fought in 40 battles across the galaxy. His scarred face showed interest rather than fear. "What else have you learned, Ambassador?" Velshara pulled up more data. "They come from what we classify as a death world. Their planet has extreme weather, dangerous animals, and diseases that would kill most of us within days. They evolved to survive in hell, and it made them strong. But that is not what scares me most." She changed the display to show human cultural data. "They have a concept they call spite. When you hurt them, they will hurt you back, even if it costs them everything. They have another concept called mutually assured destruction. It means they will accept their own death if it means taking their enemy with them. No other species thinks this way." The council chamber erupted in noise. Some representatives laughed. Others whispered nervously. A few, those who had secretly encountered humans, remained silent. A merchant captain named Zil'yith rose from his seat. "I have traded with the humans," he said quietly. "Ambassador Velshara speaks the truth. 20 years ago, my ship had engine trouble near their planet. I expected them to capture us or ignore us. Instead, they sent a rescue ship. They repaired our engines and gave us supplies. They asked for nothing in return except friendship." He paused, his tentacles curling with emotion. "That frightened me more than any weapon. A species that helps strangers, that bonds with anyone they meet, that forms packs even with aliens. What happens when you threaten such a species? What happens when you threaten their pack?" High Counselor Zephram's light flared with anger. "Enough of this fear-mongering. The humans are one species on one planet. We are 847 species across 10,000 worlds. We have ships that can cross the galaxy. We have weapons that can crack planets. These humans should be honored that we offer them a place in our federation." Velshara slammed one of her 4 hands on the platform. "You do not understand. Humans do not think about honor or logic when you threaten them. They think about survival. They think about revenge. I have seen their entertainment, their stories. They celebrate the small warrior who defeats the giant. They celebrate the last stand, the hopeless battle. They call it humanity, Fig, yeah." The translator struggled with the human phrase, but the meaning was clear enough. "And there is one more thing," Velshara continued, her voice dropping to almost a whisper. "I have read their military doctrine. They have a saying, 'If you want peace, prepare for war.' They have been watching us for 50 years, Counselor. Do you really think they have not been preparing?" High Counselor Zephyr had heard enough. "We vote now. All those in favor of sending the enforcement fleet to Earth to demand their immediate integration into the Galactic Federation?" Lights appeared across the chamber. 635 species voted yes. Only 212 voted no. The decision was made. Velshara felt her heart sink. She made one last attempt. "You are not just provoking them," she said, her voice echoing through the now quiet chamber. You are giving them a reason to unite. Humans fight among themselves, yes. They have many nations and many differences. But when an outside threat appears, they become one species with one purpose. And you have no idea what unified humans are capable of. Commander Thex watched the ambassador leave the chamber, her 4 arms hanging in defeat. He had fought many species, conquered many worlds. But something in Velshara's words bothered him. He had learned long ago to trust his instincts in war, and his instincts told him that the Council had just made a terrible mistake. High Counselor Zephyrim gave the order. Prepare the fleet. 500 ships should be more than enough. We leave in 3 days. In her quarters, Velshara composed a message. She could not send it officially, but she had made friends during her time studying Earth. She sent it through back channels, through traders and smugglers, hoping it would reach the humans in time. The message was simple. They are coming. I tried to stop them. I am sorry. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and remember that some of us wanted to be your friends. Then she waited, watching the fleet prepare for departure, and prayed to her gods that she was wrong about everything. The Council fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. 500 warships, each one larger than anything humans had ever built, formed a perfect formation. Their shields glowed with power, their weapons charged with deadly energy. At the center of the fleet, Zealot Commander Korvax sat on his command throne and smiled. Look at their primitive planet, he said to his officers. 1 moon, 1 sun, water and dirt. And they think they can resist us. His tactical officer studied the scans. Commander, I detect several space stations around the planet. Some structures on their moon. A few outposts on the red planet they call Mars. Nothing that poses a threat. Korvax nodded. Open a communication channel to the planet. All frequencies. On Earth, every television, radio, and computer screen suddenly showed the same image. An alien face, reptilian and cold, stared down at humanity. Korvax spoke through the translator. Humans of Earth, I am Zealot Commander Korvax of the Galactic Council fleet. You have been observed for 50 of your years. The Council has decided that you will join the Galactic Federation immediately. You have 48 hours to accept. If you refuse, we will take corrective action. Surrender is your only option. The transmission ended. Around the world, humans looked at each other. In the White House, President Sarah Okonkwo sat with her military advisors. Fleet Admiral Marcus Rodriguez stood near the window, his weathered face showing no emotion. Well, the president said calmly, we knew this day might come. Admiral Rodriguez turned from the window. Protocol defiance, Madam President? She nodded. Protocol defiance. But we buy time first. She looked at her communication officer. Send them a message. Tell them we need 72 hours to prepare our governments for integration. Make it sound like we are cooperating. The message was sent. Korvax received it and laughed. See, they are already broken. They beg for more time to accept their fate. He ordered his fleet to maintain position and wait. But on Earth and throughout the solar system, everything changed. In underground bunkers that had existed for decades, lights came on. On asteroids that looked like rocks, hatches opened. On Mars and the moons of Jupiter, colonies that were supposed to be small research stations revealed their true size. Humanity had been preparing for this moment since the first time they detected alien signals in space. Admiral Rodriguez walked through the command center beneath Colorado. Thousands of officers worked at stations, coordinating defenses across the entire solar system. A young lieutenant approached him. Sir, all hidden assets are now active. The Indomitable and her sister ships have dropped their civilian disguises. Weapons platforms are online. The asteroid defense grid is ready. Rodriguez nodded. And the other thing? The lieutenant's face went pale. Yes, sir. Scorched Galaxy Protocol is armed. Dr. Wright confirms the Vani. Neumann probes are ready in the Kuiper Belt. They await final authorization. Let us hope we do not need them, Rodriguez said quietly. 71 hours passed. The Council fleet detected no military buildup. Their scans showed humans moving people underground, probably in fear. Korvax felt satisfied. The humans would surrender without a fight. President Okonkwo sent the second message. Commander Korvax, we have discussed your offer. Here is our counter-offer. Leave our solar system peacefully. We wish to join the galaxy as friends, not slaves. If you refuse, you will learn why Earth is called a death world. Korvax read the message 3 times. Then he started laughing. His officers joined in. The humans, with their tiny ships and primitive weapons, were threatening him. "They dare?" he shouted. "They dare to refuse the Council? I will show them what happens to species that refuse." He pointed at the tactical display. "That area there on their southern continent. It appears uninhabited. Target it with plasma weapons. Fire a warning shot. Let them see what we can do." The fleet's weapons charged. 10 ships fired together, their combined plasma beams striking the Antarctic ice sheet. The explosion lit up the sky. Ice vaporized instantly. Rock melted. And 2 kilometers below the surface, in a research facility that was not supposed to exist, 2,000 human scientists and support staff died in less than a second. The Council fleet detected the underground structure only after it was destroyed. Korvax felt a moment of doubt but pushed it away. They were just humans, primitives. It did not matter. On Earth, President Okonkwo watched the satellite footage. She watched the ice vaporize. She watched the heat bloom. She received the casualty report. 2,000 people, men and women who were working on technology to defend Earth, people with families, people with children, people with dreams. She stood up from her desk and walked to the window. Outside, night was falling. She thought about all the speeches she had prepared for first contact, the dreams of peace and cooperation, the hope that humans would join a galactic community as friends. Those dreams died in Antarctica. She returned to her desk and activated the communication system. Every human on Earth, Mars, the Moon, and the colonies could hear her. Her voice was steady and cold. "My fellow humans, 72 hours ago we were contacted by an alien fleet. We hoped for peace. We offered friendship. Instead, they gave us an ultimatum: submit or die. We asked for time to prepare for peaceful integration. They responded by attacking Antarctica. 2,000 of our people are dead. Scientists, engineers, support staff, people who were working to protect us all. They killed them to send a message." She paused, her dark eyes reflecting the light from her computer screen. "They wanted to see what humans do when cornered. They wanted to see what happens when you threaten our families. Let us show them. Admiral Rodriguez, you are authorized to execute Protocol Defiance. Show them what humanity does to those who kill our children." Admiral Rodriguez's face appeared on every military screen across the solar system. He did not look angry. He looked focused, calm, and absolutely certain. "All units," he said quietly, "weapons free. Remember Antarctica. For everyone who died, for everyone still alive, for the future of humanity. Make them pay for every single life they took." In orbit, the Council fleet detected the change immediately. Energy signatures spiked across the solar system. Ships that looked like civilian freighters suddenly bristled with weapons. Asteroids that should have been rocks launched missiles. The Moon opened and revealed massive railguns. Mars lit up with defense platforms. Korvax stared at his tactical display in confusion. "What is this? Where did these weapons come from?" His tactical officer's voice shook. "Commander, I am detecting over 200 combat-capable human vessels, multiple weapons platforms, energy signatures consistent with—" "Commander, they have been hiding their capabilities. This was a trap." The first human missiles hit 3 Council ships before their shields could adjust. The ships did not explode. They simply stopped moving, their crews killed by kinetic impacts that went through energy shields like they were not there. Korvax finally understood Velshara's warning. But it was too late. The battle for Earth began 6 minutes after the Antarctica attack. Captain Emma Stone stood on the bridge of the EDFS Indomitable, a ship that had pretended to be a civilian cargo hauler for 15 years. Now her true nature showed. Armor plating covered her hull. Railguns extended from hidden bays. Missile tubes opened along her sides. "All crew to battle stations," Emma ordered. Her voice was calm, but her hands gripped the command chair tightly. "Target the cruiser at Mark 7. Fire when ready." The Indomitable's main railgun fired. A solid tungsten rod, accelerated to a significant fraction of light speed, crossed the distance in seconds. It hit the Council cruiser's shield and punched through like paper. The rod went through the ship's hull, through 3 decks and out the other side. Atmosphere vented. Crew members were sucked into space. The cruiser went dark. "One down," Emma's tactical officer reported. 19 more in our sector. "Then we have more work to do," Emma said. Throughout the solar system, similar scenes played out. Human ships dropped their disguises and attacked. They were slower than Council vessels. Their shields were weaker. Their weapons had shorter range. But humans had advantages the Council never expected. Human ships were designed to take damage and keep fighting. Their hulls had multiple layers of armor. Their systems had redundancies and backups. A Council ship that lost its main power would drift helplessly. A human ship would switch to auxiliary power and keep shooting. Human crews rotated through dangerous positions voluntarily. No one was forced to serve. No one was ordered to sacrifice themselves. Yet when Captain Emma needed volunteers to man the damaged forward gun, every single crew member raised their hand. "We are in this together, Captain," one young gunner said. "For Antarctica, for humanity." The Council fleet quickly learned that fighting humans was different from any battle they had experienced. When a Council ship was damaged, it would withdraw to repair. When a human ship was damaged, it would get closer and fight harder. When a Council captain faced certain defeat, he would surrender. When a human captain faced certain defeat, she would ram her ship into the enemy. Commander Thex watched from his ship at the edge of the battle. He was supposed to be coordinating the fleet's movements, but he found himself fascinated by the human tactics. They used everything as a weapon. They fired chunks of ice from the asteroid belt, accelerated to incredible speeds. They hacked into Council communication systems and played recordings of dying Council crew members. They even used their own damaged ships as decoys, drawing fire while other ships attacked from behind. "They fight like warriors," he said to himself. "No, they fight like people who have nothing left to lose." His tactical officer showed him updated casualty reports. After 12 hours of fighting, the Council had lost 89 ships. The humans had lost only 23, but the human ships had taken far more damage on average. They just refused to stop fighting until they were completely destroyed. "How are they doing this?" the tactical officer asked. "Our ships are faster, our weapons stronger, our shields better. How are they winning?" Thex studied the battle data, because they are not trying to win a clean victory. They are trying to make us bleed. Every ship we lose makes the Council weaker. Every ship they lose makes humanity more determined. They are betting that we will break before they do. On the Indomitable, Emma received a priority message from Admiral Rodriguez. "Captain Stone, we need you for a special mission. The flagship. The one commanding this fleet. We need it gone." Emma looked at her tactical display. The Council flagship was massive, 3 times the size of her ship. It was protected by 50 escort vessels. Its shields could probably withstand everything the Indomitable could throw at it. Going after it was suicide. "Understood, Admiral," she said. "We will get it done." She turned to her crew. "Listen up. We have been given a mission. The flagship. We are going to take it out. I will not lie to you. This will be dangerous. We might not make it back. Anyone who wants to transfer to another ship, do it now. No shame, no judgment, nobody moved." Her executive officer smiled. "Captain, with respect, shut up and give us the plan." Emma felt tears trying to form, but pushed them away. "We do what humans do best. We improvise. Helm, plot a course that takes us through the debris field. Weapons, prepare everything we have. Engineering, I need every bit of speed you can give me. And someone get me a volunteer crew for the forward compartments." 50 crew members volunteered. Emma picked 10. She told them their job was to stay at their posts even if the ship was breaking apart, keeping the weapons firing until the very end. They accepted without hesitation. The Indomitable charged toward the flagship. Council escort ships fired at her. Her shields failed. Her armor took hits. Fires broke out on 3 decks. Her main engine was damaged. Still, she kept going. "Hull breaches on decks 5 and 6, damage control reported. Forward weapons offline. Portside weapons gone. Keep going," Emma ordered. "All remaining power to engines and starboard weapons." She opened a ship-wide channel. "All hands, this is the captain. In 2 minutes, we are going to hit that flagship with everything we have. Then I am ordering evacuation. Get to the escape pods." "That is an order." Her executive officer looked at her.
"Captain?"
"Someone needs to keep the ship on course," Emma said quietly. "I need volunteers to stay with me on the bridge." 10 people. "We keep her flying until impact." Again, everyone volunteered. Emma picked 9. She looked at them. These men and women who were about to die for people they had never met, for a future they would never see. "For Antarctica," she said. "For humanity," they replied. The Indomitable crashed into the Council flagship at 30% of light speed. The impact was visible from Earth. The flagship's shields tried to stop the collision and failed. The Indomitable's remaining weapons fired even as her hull disintegrated. Her reactor went critical at the moment of impact. Korvax had exactly 3 seconds to realize what was happening before the explosion consumed his ship. He managed to get to an escape pod. Most of his crew did not. Admiral Rodriguez watched the tactical display as the flagship disappeared. He bowed his head for a moment, honoring Captain Stone and her crew. Then he opened the communication channel to the remaining Council fleet. "You killed 2,000 of us in Antarctica," he said. "We have killed 34,000 of you. We can keep going. We have billions more who will volunteer. How many more can you afford to lose? Leave now or stay and die. Choose." In the Grand Chamber, Velshara watched the battle through live feeds and wept. She had tried to warn them. She had begged them to listen. Now thousands were dead on both sides, and the war was only beginning. 8 days. The battle had lasted 8 days. Both sides were exhausted. Ships drifted in orbit, damaged but still fighting. Space around Earth was filled with debris, but the humans showed no signs of stopping. High Counselor Zephyr called an emergency session. He was no longer dismissive. He was worried. The Council had sent reinforcements, another 300 ships. They now had 711 vessels in the system. Against humanity's remaining combat ships, they should have overwhelming superiority. But the numbers did not tell the whole story. "Why are we not winning?" Zephyr demanded. General Kratok, a military strategist with 200 years of experience, stood before the Council. "Because humans do not fight like we do, Counselor. When we damage their ships, they repair them using parts from destroyed ships. When we destroy their weapons, they build new ones from asteroid metal. When we kill their crew, volunteers replace them within hours. They are treating their entire solar system as one massive fortress." Commander Thex added his report. "I have been analyzing their tactics. They are not trying to destroy us quickly. They are trying to bleed us slowly. Every day we stay, we lose ships. Every day we stay, more of our crew die. They are betting that eventually our member species will demand we withdraw. Never." Zephram's energy form pulsed with anger. "We are the Galactic Council. We do not lose to primitives." Velshara stood up slowly. "Then prepare for something worse than defeat, Counselor. Prepare for mutual destruction." She activated a holographic display. Images of strange machines appeared, sleek and deadly looking, hidden in the darkness beyond Pluto. "Human intelligence has been broadcasting on channels they know we monitor. They want us to know about this. They call it Scorched Galaxy Protocol." The Council chamber went silent. Velshara continued, her voice heavy with dread. "These are von Neumann probes, self-replicating machines. If Earth's biosphere is significantly damaged, these probes activate automatically. They will spread across 50 light-years. They will seek out Council infrastructure, military bases, shipyards, stations, and dismantle everything they find. They will use the materials to build more of themselves. And they cannot be stopped or recalled." "Impossible," another Council member said. "Building such machines would take decades, centuries." A new hologram appeared. A human male, elderly but with sharp eyes. Dr. James Wright, one of Earth's leading physicists. The recording began to play. "Greetings, Galactic Council. By now you have detected our Scorched Galaxy Protocol. Yes, it is real. Yes, it will activate if you damage Earth beyond a certain point. No, we cannot stop it once it begins. You might wonder why we would build such a weapon. The answer is simple. Because you came to our home with threats instead of friendship." Dr. Wright paused, his expression sad. "We wanted to join the galaxy peacefully. We dreamed of it for generations. Instead, you sent warships and ultimatums. You killed our people to make a point. So we will make our own point. If you destroy us, we will make sure you regret it for the next 1,000 years. Your children's children will curse your names for provoking humanity." The recording ended. The Council sat in stunned silence. Commander Thex spoke quietly. "He is telling the truth. My technical staff analyzed the probes. They are real. They are active. And if Earth falls, they launch automatically. No one can stop them, not even the humans themselves." Merchant Captain Silith, who had traded with humans for years, rose from his seat. "Honored Council, I told you before. Humans are different. They do not think about survival the same way we do. They think about legacy. If they must die, they will make sure their death means something. They will make sure you remember them forever." Zephyr felt something he had not felt in centuries. Fear. "This is madness. Why would they build weapons that cannot be controlled? Velshera answered softly. Because they wanted you to know that defeating them is not enough. Even if you win the battle, you lose the war. The probes will hunt your species for generations. Your economy will collapse trying to defend against them. Your people will suffer for your decision to provoke humanity. As the council debated, the war continued. Human ships had learned to work together in ways that amazed even Commander Thex. They shared targeting data instantly. They covered each other's weaknesses. When one ship ran out of ammunition, another would move into position to take its place. They fought like a single organism with 1,000 bodies. But humans were doing something else that confused the council. They were treating captured enemy crew members well. Council soldiers who expected torture or death found themselves in clean medical facilities, receiving treatment alongside wounded humans. Some were even released with messages for their families. Commander Thex visited one of these facilities, traveling under a flag of truce. He watched a human doctor treating a Vorlonian soldier who had killed 3 humans before being captured. Why? Thex asked the doctor. This soldier killed your people. Why save him? The doctor, an older woman with tired eyes, continued working. Because he is someone's son, someone's brother, maybe someone's father. When this war ends, and it will end someday, we want to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror. We fight because we must. We kill because we must, but we do not become monsters. Thex left the facility deeply troubled. He had fought 40 campaigns across the galaxy. He had seen species fight for territory, for resources, for honor. He had never seen a species fight for survival while still maintaining compassion for their enemies. That evening, he sent a private message to High Counselor Zephyrim. We cannot win this war. Not the way you want. If we push them too far, they trigger their doomsday weapon. If we try to outlast them, they will fight for generations. And every day we fight, more species in the council question why we started this war. The humans offered friendship first. We responded with violence. History will not judge us kindly. Zephyrim read the message and made a decision. He would try to negotiate. Not surrender, but some kind of agreement. He sent out diplomatic signals. The human response was immediate and cold. You murdered 2,000 of our people. You attacked our home. Now you want to talk? Come to the negotiation table, but understand this. We will never submit. We will never surrender. If you want peace, it will be as equals. If you want war, we will give you more war than you can handle. Choose wisely. In her quarters, Velshera received a message from her human contacts. It contained just 5 words. Thank you for trying, friend. She looked at the battle reports, the casualty lists, the economic damage spreading across council space. She had warned them. She had begged them. They had not listened. Now they would pay the price. And so would thousands of innocents on both sides who just wanted to live their lives in peace. The peace talks failed within 3 hours. Ambassador Chen Wei sat across from council negotiators at a neutral station orbiting Saturn. She was a small woman with steel in her eyes, chosen because she had lost her brother in Antarctica. The council offered to return to the way things were before the war. No occupation, limited reparations, an apology of sorts. Chen listened to their offer without expression. No, she said simply. The council negotiator, a tall being covered in crystalline plates, looked confused. But this is generous. We are offering to forget this unfortunate incident. Chen leaned forward. Forget? You killed 2,000 of my people. You attacked our home. You started a war that has killed tens of thousands on both sides. And you want us to forget? She shook her head. Here are humanity's terms. Full council membership with equal voting power. Complete reparations for all damage to Earth. A public apology broadcast across the galaxy. And Zealot Commander Korvax stands trial for war crimes. The negotiators' plates rattled with shock. Impossible. You are making demands like a victor. You have not won. You are barely surviving. Chen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. We are surviving. That is the point. Every day you stay, you lose ships. Every day you stay, your economy suffers. Your member species are already questioning this war. How much longer can you afford to fight us? We can fight for generations. Can you? The talks ended. Chen returned to Earth with a simple message. The Council refused reasonable peace. The war would continue. High Counselor Zephyr faced a crisis. Half the council wanted him removed from power. Trade routes across the galaxy were disrupted. Insurance costs for space travel had tripled. Several species threatened to leave the council if the war continued, but he could not show weakness. He could not let primitives dictate terms. In desperation, he turned to a secret faction within the council. Extremists who believed the only way to defeat humanity was through overwhelming force. They had a weapon, one that the council had banned centuries ago after seeing its terrible power. A planet killer. Activate it, Zephyr ordered. Aim it at Earth. We give them one final chance to surrender. If they refuse, we end this. General Kratok heard about the decision and tried to stop it. He burst into the council chamber, his uniform disheveled from running. Counselor, you cannot do this. If you activate that weapon, the humans will trigger their scorched galaxy protocol. It will be mutual destruction. Then they will surrender, Zephyr said coldly. They value their planet. They will not let it die. Kratok shook his head. You still do not understand them. They would rather see their planet destroyed than surrender to threats. Counselor Velshara, tell him. Make him understand. Velshara stood, her 4 arms trembling. General Kratok is right. If you threaten Earth with total destruction, they will not surrender. They will make sure you pay the price. Please, there must be another way. But Zephyr had made his decision. The planet killer, a massive orbital station hidden in deep space, began charging its weapon. It would take 72 hours to reach full power. The Council sent a message to Earth. You have 72 hours to accept our original terms. Submit to the Council, or we destroy your planet. This is your final warning. Admiral Rodriguez received the message in his command center. Around him, officers waited for his response. He looked at each of them, these men and women who had fought so hard for their home. Then he looked at President Okonkwo on the video screen. Madam President, they have a planet killer. Our intelligence confirms it. 72 hours until it fires. The President closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they were filled with sorrow but also determination. Then we use the protocol. If Earth dies, the galaxy burns with us. Rodriguez nodded. Scorched Galaxy Protocol activation sequence initiated. Point of no return in 48 hours. He turned to his communications officer. Send a message to every ship, every station, every colony. Tell our people what is happening. Give them time to say goodbye to their families, and tell them we are proud to serve with them. The message went out. Around the solar system, human soldiers and civilians heard the news. Some cried, some raged, some simply hugged their loved ones, but none of them suggested surrender. On Mars Colony, a teacher named Sarah spoke to her students. Children, something bad is going to happen, but I want you to remember something. We are not dying because we did something wrong. We are dying because we refuse to be slaves. That is something to be proud of. A little boy raised his hand. Will we hurt them back, teacher? Sarah nodded, tears in her eyes. Yes, they will remember what they did to us for a very long time. But something unexpected happened. The Council was not united. Commander Thex had seen enough. He gathered like-minded officers and made a decision that would be called treason. I will not allow genocide, he told his followers. I have fought many species. I have killed many enemies, but I have never participated in the murder of an entire planet. Who stands with me? 400 council ships broke formation. They moved to defensive positions around Earth. Thex sent a message to both the Council and humanity. This war was wrong from the beginning. We came to your world with threats instead of friendship. We killed your people to demonstrate power. Now some want to destroy your entire planet. I cannot allow this. My fleet will defend Earth from the planet killer. If the Council wants to fire that weapon, they will have to go through us first. Velshara heard the news and felt hope for the first time in weeks. She immediately joined Thex's fleet with a small group of Council ships loyal to her. Other moderate species followed. High Counselor Zephyr watched his fleet split apart. He had started this war with 800 ships. Now, less than 300 remained loyal to him. The rest were either destroyed, defending Earth, or had deserted entirely. Admiral Rodriguez received Thex's message. He studied it carefully, looking for tricks or deception. Then he sent a response. Commander Thex, we accept your help. But understand this. We have 47 hours until our Doomsday Protocol activates. If that planet killer is not destroyed by then, nothing can stop what happens next. Not you, not us, not anyone. So if you are serious about stopping this, you need to move fast. Thex looked at the massive planet killer station on his tactical display. It was heavily defended. Getting close enough to destroy it would cost hundreds of ships and thousands of lives. He thought about all the battles he had fought, all the enemies he had killed. Then he thought about the human doctor who treated wounded enemies with kindness. He thought about a species that would rather die than submit. All ships, he ordered, prepare for attack. We are going to destroy that station or die trying. For honor. For justice. And for the chance that someday, humans and Council might actually be friends. The countdown continued. 47 hours until mutual destruction. One chance to stop it, and a galaxy holding its breath. Commander Thex's fleet raced toward the planet killer station. Behind him, 400 ships from a dozen different species followed. Ahead, the massive weapon continued charging, surrounded by 250 loyalist ships still under High Counselor Zephram's command. All ships, listen carefully, Thex broadcast. That weapon fires in 68 hours. If it destroys Earth, the humans trigger their Doomsday Protocol and we all suffer for centuries. We cannot let that happen. Some of us will die today, but we die to save billions. There is no greater honor. His tactical officer showed him the defense formations. Commander, they have us outnumbered. And that station has weapons of its own. Thex allowed himself a small smile. Then we will have to fight like humans. With courage, creativity, and absolute refusal to quit, the battle began. Thex's fleet did not try elegant maneuvers or careful tactics. They charged straight at the station, accepting terrible losses to get close. Ships exploded, crews died, but they kept coming. On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez watched the battle through long-range sensors. The countdown continued, 42 hours until Scorched Galaxy Protocol activated. He had sent every human ship that could still fly to help Thex, but they were hours away. Everything depended on Thex and his rebellion. In the Grand Chamber, the Council was in chaos. Some members demanded Zephram's arrest. Others supported him. Fighting broke out between different species. The greatest alliance in galactic history was tearing itself apart. Counselor Tivek, an elder statesman who had been silent throughout the war, finally stood. His voice carried authority earned through 300 years of service. Enough! Look at what we have become! We started this war because we feared humans. Now we fight each other. High Counselor Zephram, I call for your immediate removal and arrest for war crimes. All in favor? The vote was overwhelming. 412 species voted yes. Only 78 voted no. Security forces moved to arrest Zephram, but he had already fled. At the planet killer station, Thex's ship broke through the final defensive line. His hull was compromised. His shields were gone. Half his crew was dead, but he was close enough now. All remaining ships target the station's power core, he ordered. Fire everything. Hundreds of weapons struck the station simultaneously. Its shields flickered and failed. Secondary explosions rippled across its surface. But it was not enough. The weapon was still charging. Thex looked at his remaining crew. I need volunteers. We rammed the power core. We will not survive. Every single crew member on the bridge stepped forward. Thex felt his heart swell with pride. You are all warriors. You all have families waiting for you. I will do this alone. His first officer put a hand on his shoulder. With respect, Commander, shut up and fly the ship. We are all staying. Thex turned his ship toward the power core. His engines, damaged but still functional, pushed the ship faster. Faster. The station's defensive weapons fired, but it was too late. The ship crashed into the core at incredible speed. The explosion was visible from Earth. The planet killer station broke apart, its terrible weapon destroyed forever. Commander Thex and his crew died instantly, along with hundreds of other ships and their crews who had sacrificed everything to stop genocide. On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez bowed his head. "Brave souls," he whispered. "We will remember you." The countdown showed 11 hours remaining until Scorched Galaxy Protocol activated. President Okonkwo received an emergency message from Counselor Tivek. "President Okonkwo, we have arrested High Counselor Zephyrim. The planet killer is destroyed. We are broadcasting an unconditional surrender and apology. Please stop your doomsday protocol." President Okonkwo looked at Admiral Rodriguez. "Can we stop it?" "Yes, Madam President. But should we?" Rodriguez's face was hard. "They killed our people. They threatened our planet. Now they surrender because they fear our revenge. If we stop the protocol, they might try again someday." The president stood and walked to the window. Outside, she could see the stars. Somewhere out there, brave aliens had died to save Earth. Commander Thax and his crew. Velshara, who had tried so hard to prevent the war. All those moderate council members who had risked everything for peace. "No," she said quietly. "We stop it. Not because they surrender, but because some of them fought for us. Because some of them chose justice over orders. We stop it because that is what humans do. We remember those who help us and we honor their sacrifice." She turned to Rodriguez. "Deactivate Scorched Galaxy Protocol. Then get me Counselor Tivek. We have a new treaty to negotiate." The protocol was deactivated with 4 hours remaining. Across the galaxy, billions of beings breathed in relief. The war was over. The peace treaty negotiations took 6 months. Ambassador Chenwei led the human delegation. The terms were harsh but fair. Earth joined the Galactic Council with full membership and equal voting power. Reparations were paid in technology and educational exchanges rather than resources. War crimes tribunals were established for both sides. Zealot Commander Korvax was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. Surprisingly, the human delegation argued against execution, despite council custom. "We do not kill prisoners," Ambassador Chen explained. "Even those who deserve death. That is not who we are." High Counselor Zephyrim was also convicted. He died in prison 2 years later, broken and forgotten. At Antarctica, a memorial was built. 2,000 human names were carved on one side. On the other side, the names of 89,000 Council soldiers who died in the war. The inscription read, "May those who died in unnecessary war teach us to choose necessary peace." 10 years passed. Human technology combined with alien knowledge revolutionized the galaxy. Human creativity and alien wisdom created wonders. The war was studied in military academies across 1,000 worlds as a cautionary tale. Velshara became Earth's official liaison to the Council. Humans called her the one who tried to save us and treated her with enormous respect. She lived in New York City and taught xenobiology at the university. Human children loved her, and she loved them back. Ambassador Chen Wei was elected High Chancellor of the Council 5 years after the war ended. Under her leadership, the Council transformed from an empire into a true federation of equals. Dr. James Wright personally dismantled the von Neumann probes. One was kept in a museum in Washington, D.C. with a plaque that read, "The weapon we built but chose not to use. May we never need to build such a thing again." On Mars Colony, the teacher Sarah watched her former students graduate. The little boy who had asked if they would hurt them back was now studying to be a diplomat. He wanted to help prevent future wars. In the rebuilt Grand Chamber, Ambassador Chen gave a speech to welcome a newly discovered species into the galactic community. Her hair was gray now, but her eyes were still sharp. 50 years ago, the Council made a terrible mistake. They sent warships to Earth with demands instead of friendship. Many died on both sides before we learned to respect each other. Let me give you the lesson we learned. Do not provoke anyone. Every species is capable of both great violence and great love. The choice of which one you face is entirely yours. Choose friendship. Choose respect. And remember that the greatest strength is not the power to destroy, but the wisdom to choose peace. The Council voted unanimously to send a friendship delegation to the new species. At the memorial in Antarctica, human and alien children played together while their parents watched. Former enemies had become friends. Some had even become family. The war that nearly destroyed everything had instead brought the galaxy together. Velshara stood at the memorial reading the names. A human child, the great-granddaughter of someone who died in Antarctica, came and held her hand. "Miss Velshara, my teacher says you tried to stop the war. Thank you." Velshara looked down at the child. this young human with a smile like sunshine. I wish I had tried harder. The child shook her head. My mom says you did your best. That is all anyone can do. And you are our friend now. That is what matters. Velshara felt her compound eyes grow moist. Humans, she had learned, had a gift for forgiveness that matched their capacity for vengeance. They could hate fiercely and love just as strongly. The galaxy was better for having them in it, even if learning that lesson had cost so much. She looked up at the stars and thought of Commander Thex, who had sacrificed everything to save both sides from mutual destruction. She thought of all those who had died because leaders chose pride over wisdom. Never again, she whispered. We will never let this happen again. The child squeezed her hand. Come on, my dad is making dinner. He makes really good pasta. You will love it. Velshara smiled and let the child lead her away from the memorial. Behind them, the sun set over Antarctica, painting the sky in colors of orange and gold. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new friendships. But today there was peace. Hard-won, blood-bought, and precious beyond measure. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Do not provoke humans, but more importantly, do not provoke anyone. Offer friendship first and amazing things become possible. The war was over. The future had begun,